Hello from the members of First United Methodist Church in Royse City. Thank you for listening to this podcast. We hope you find it meaningful and relevant. You're invited to join us for worship anytime, and you can learn more about our worship options, location, and small group opportunities by visiting our website, fumcroysecity.org. May God bless you as you listen to His Word proclaimed.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lighthouse Keeper Heidi, reporting from my first day on Adventure Island. Thanks for being here. I've been hoping to come here since I graduated from Lighthouse Keeper School. Adventure Island has intrigued me because my parents are both philologists, or people who study lighthouses. They discovered this journal of Professor Luminari. He was Adventure Island's very first lighthouse keeper. In it, he used mysterious riddles and sketches to describe lanterns that never go out, called infinity lanterns. No one has been able to locate them, but I'm hoping to. If only I could discover the missing map. Wait a minute. What's that? I'm going in for a closer look. Is this an infinity lantern? False alarm. It's definitely not an infinity lantern. Explorers, you have been invited here to help me find the infinity lanterns. I'm so glad to have you join me. Did your invitations mention the legend of the infinity lantern? With your help, I'm sure we'll find them. There's something quite mysterious about Adventure Island, like you never know what's going to pop up next. Look, it's a very interesting little bird. It seems so human-like, almost as if it could actually talk.
Hello?
What? I just spoke to some species of bird. Did you hear that? I should pinch myself. I'm most likely dreaming. Ouch. Yes, I'm definitely awake.
Are you okay?
Yes. Are you a talking bird?
Absolutely. I'm a puffin.
Did you hear that? That bird thinks it's a muffin. I'm surely hallucinating. I'm surely confused, or I'm hallucinating from all this heat.
It's puffin, but maybe you need to take a break with some music.
Yeah, we already did music. But thank you anyway, Muffin.
That's puffin, but you can call me Beacon.
Bacon? That's a strange name for a bird.
I said Beacon.
That's what I said. But more importantly, have you ever heard the legend of the infinity lanterns? I have been studying Professor Luminari's journal, and these explorers are here to help me find them. But Professor Luminari only used riddles and sketches in his journal.
That sounds like something Professor Luminari would do. He was a strange bird.
You knew Professor Luminari? So you do know about the legend.
I sure do. Infinity lanterns once lined the path to the lighthouse, but Professor Luminari scattered them across the island.
Interesting. Why would he do that?
Like I said, he was a strange bird. The lanterns all contain a special kind of light, a light that never goes out. But it's more than that. The lights in each of the lanterns are special ways God shines light into the world, and they also show us how we can shine God's light to others.
That sounds very important. We really need to find those lanterns. If only I had a map of the island.
A map? Like that one right there?
You are truly an extraordinary little bird. You speak, and you just found the missing map. Maybe I could use some sort of GPS or satellite imaging to find the lanterns on the map.
That's not how you find things on Adventure Island. But don't worry, you should have all you need to discover the lanterns.
I hope you're right, Deacon.
That's Beacon.
I've studied the journal for years, but never had the map until now. Perhaps we could use both to determine specific coordinates. Explorers, a coordinate is a set of numbers and letters that corresponds to a specific place on a map. Here's the first journal entry. To find the infinity lantern of love, don't get confused. Search high and low with the map. Use the following clues. 6 days of work and 1 day of rest. Together they make a full week. Study the ancient story of beginnings to locate the lantern you seek. It looks like the infinity lantern is love. So 6 days of work and 1 day of rest. Is this describing Professor Luminari's first week on the job? No, it has to be something older. Where do I look for an ancient story? Is there a library on Adventure Island?
There are no libraries, however, you couldn't get more ancient than the beginning of time. What about looking in your reference book?
Reference book?
Yes, you know, the Bible. I noticed you had one in your bag.
Excellent idea. The riddle mentioned the beginning. Well, this looks like a good place for a beginning, a book called Genesis. All right. Well, now we should look at the map again. I see that Professor Luminari created markings on it. There are letters going down the side of the map and numbers going across the top, dividing the island into grids. If only we knew which grid contained the lantern.
The riddle asks you to look at this specific Bible verse. Where was the story found in the Bible?
Genesis, chapter 1.
Genesis, chapter 1? You just said the map has letters and numbers on each grid.
Yes, but what do they mean?
Gee, it does make one wonder.
What did you say?
I said, gee, it does make one wonder.
Haha, I figured it out. If I take the first letter of the book of the Bible, the letter G for Genesis, and the number of the chapter number 1, then it takes me right there, G1. And if you look really closely, there's a symbol of a lantern. That must be the infinity lantern of love. Eureka!
I think she's got it.
Okay, explorers, let's go find this lantern.
Wait a minute. Before starting out on this great adventure, you must recite the island's signal verse. The signal verse is a guiding light for all adventures on the island. It comes from Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1. Arise, shine, your light has come, the Lord's glory has shone upon you.
Explorers, can you learn it with me? Do we remember? Arise, shine, your light has come, the Lord's glory has shone upon you.
Okay, these 3 nights that we had the VBS, the first night was the creation, and that night was the lantern of love. And we all know God's love is abundant, very forgiving, and it drives us, it motivates us, and it guides us. And we always, with that love, we learn to make the right decisions in our life to follow Christ. His love is powerful. He created man in the image of him. That's love. The creation story tells us the love that God has for all of us. For God so loved the world that he gave his son. We all know that scripture really well. It's unconditional, and you cannot measure his love at all. The second night was Moses and the burning bush. And that's the lantern of trust. You know, Moses really, he followed God. He trusted God. He led his people out of slavery to the promised land. And the burning bush represents a burning heart of purity and love. And it always represents Moses, his reverence and his fear before the divine presence. Our third night was Mary at the tomb, and that is the lantern of hope. And we all know the hope that we have in Jesus. God's faithful. He will complete what he starts. He never does a job that's not finished. Hope, the circumstances, we all will want to get better. It's not a wish. It is actual belief. So these 3 nights, these were powerful things that we learned of Jesus, which is the love, the trust, and the hope. And if we have all of these 3 in our life, there's nothing that we can't do without God.